Hey friends, happy Monday. Welcome to my live. And if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. I am glad that you are joining me this evening. My name is Robin and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. So we will be using some Couture products this evening. I hope that you are either resting this evening, or if you happen to be crafting along with me, let me know. Say hi in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. I always like to see where everyone's tuning in from, whether that be in my local area or in another state. So just let me know where you're watching from. I want to let you know that I am live in 3 locations this evening using an online platform called StreamYard. So I am live on my Facebook business page, I am live on my YouTube channel, and I'm also live in my private Facebook group. And I tell you that so that if you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your feed, you're not confused. That person may just be watching and commenting from a different platform. Also, if you happen to be watching in my group, if you wouldn't mind giving StreamYard access to your profile pic and profile name by clicking the link in the description of the video. That way you show up under your profile name in my comments and not Facebook user. That way I know who to say hi to. Speaking of saying hi, I see that Jason is online. And as others hop on, I would love to say hi. So pop in on the comments and tell me hi so that I can give you a warm welcome. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to flip the camera. Hopefully I'm not on. Hey, Miss Ashley, how are you? Welcome this evening. I bet you are in the final countdown of the final week of school, huh? That's exciting. So we are using the a size A transfer from the kitchen collection. It's called Time to Eat. I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking with it by adding an oldie but goodie. I believe this is the chalk font. I'm not positive, but it is a retired transfer. I did link a different font that is available in the description of the video. So if you click on the cart link, it will load most of the supplies that I'm using this evening. You can certainly add or delete any products that you may or may not need. So after the video, you're welcome to go check out some of those products. So these are Silkscreen sticky back reusable transfers. They are reusable about 8 to 12 times, depending on how well you take care of them. Oops, I've already written on this one. So this one is called Time to Eat. I wrote the name on the back because after I'm done with using these transfers, I will go clean them, and I need to know what side of the backer sheet is the back so that I can return this transfer to the correct side. Let's see, Ashley says she's doing good. You're helping Emma with some homework. 3 more days. How exciting. Got any big plans for the summer? I'm doing well. Doing pretty good. We've been gone the last 2 weekends, so I'm looking forward to having a weekend at home. So I'm going to put these to the side because we're not quite using them yet. On our anniversary weekend getaway, we went to a big box stores where all of the products have weird Swedish names and everything has to be put together. And I got a few of these cute little cutting boards. So I tried to cut down on the amount of time that I would be online tonight because I have a tendency to make long projects. So I did pre-paint this ahead of time. I have taped off the sides and I put a piece of painter's tape across the top to kind of do some color blocking. And I've already done 1 coat, and then I sanded and I put down another coat. So I just need to dry my second coat really quick. And I just used some chalk paint. I'm getting down to the bottom of the bottle, so I did have to water it down a bit because it was super thick. Like super thick. Ashley says she's going camping and you're going to try to finish just this room. You guys have done a lot of work on your basement. It's looking really good. So I'm just getting this dry. And then I'm just going to lightly sand it. I'm going to do that kind of off camera. I'm going to do it into my trash can. But I'm just using my little fingertip sander. I just want to knock off some of those brush strokes and get kind of a nice smooth finish. I've knocked off a bit too much. I think that'll work. Now it's nice and buttery smooth. I'm going to move my paint out of the way so I don't get it everywhere. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so let's remove the tape. And we'll see what we have here. Hopefully we have a clean, fairly clean line. I'm not so sure about my edges because the sides of this clip of this cutting board are not exactly straight. They kind of bevel out, so it was kind of hard to tape them. Yeah, I bet you wish it was done, but it'll look so great when you guys are finished. Okay, I'm just gonna knock. I got on the edge a little bit. So I'm just gonna gently knock that off, just to kind of clean up that edge a bit. Okay, and since I've painted this, I do want to put a layer of wax down. So I'm just going to use the surface wax and the new wax applicator. So I use the terry cloth side to apply the wax, and then I use the microfiber side to kind of buff the wax in. So I just got a little bit on my wax applicator. And I'm doing this for a couple reasons. One, to protect my paint so that my transfer doesn't pull up my paint when I go to pull it up. Two, it'll also keep my transfer from sticking because I don't want it to stick so hard that it stretches. So now I'm just going to kind of try to buff that out, make it super smooth and shiny. Kind of like butter. Looks like kind of almost like glass. I don't know if you can see any of that shine. Yep, you can a little bit. Good evening, Bonita. You are fine. Hop on whenever. Okay, so I've waxed my cutting board after I put a couple of coats of paint on it. It's just plain on the back side. And you probably could make this double-sided. The only thing is these aren't straight sides. They kind of bevel at a slight angle. I think you could still get it to work. So I'm going to bring in my transfer, and I'm also going to bring in my fonts. I'm not going to use the tomato, and actually I need to look. I kind of got some inspiration from a fellow designer when this collection first came out. But so I was going to see if they chalked in those little pieces. Now I just have to find it. There it is. They did not. But I can do it if I want to. So I need to make sure that I leave room. I want this to say time to eat out. So I just need to make sure I leave enough room. So I think I know. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off of the backer sheet. And I'm going to lay it on my towel a couple of times to fuzz it. This, along with the wax, will help keep my transfer from sticking and then stretching when I pull it back up. I'm just going to do that 2 or 3 times. You can use just a plain terry cloth towel. You don't have to use anything fancy. I'm just, again, going to make sure I'm leaving enough room, and I am. I think that's where I want it. I'm just kind of, eyeballing it. Okay. So now I'm just going to burnish it down. I'm going to make sure all of that silkscreen area is down and adhered so that my chalk paste does not seep through. And then I'm going to tape up here so I don't. And I'm going to chalk these little pieces right here, but I'm going to cover them up for right now so I don't forget, because I think I want to make them a different color. I think I'm going to use black velvet for most of the text, and then I'm going to add storm to these little greenery pieces that are right here. I could also, do you think I should use, maybe I should use eucalyptus instead. Do you think I should use eucalyptus or storm? Inquiring minds want to know. How was everyone's weekend? Did anybody do anything fun? My niece graduated from high school, so we went out to Mineola, which is near Dodge City. Well, we went to Larned first, and then we went to Mineola after that. It was fun. She had 16 in her graduating class, so it was definitely a very intimate ceremony. They had a baccalaureate beforehand, which I'd never been to one. And then their class is small enough that they were able to give each of their mothers a rose, which was really sweet. I'm going to get a different black. That one is kind of gritty. So this is just chalk paste. It is chalk in a kind of a liquid form, or a wet form, I should say. It does, it dries semi-permanent and hard to the touch. So I'm just using this rubber squeegee to apply the chalk paste to the silkscreen material. So I'm just going to take my squeegee and I'm going to lightly drag it down the silkscreen area. I should have done the black last. I know better. I know better. I know better. It's not a big deal, but black usually tends to get in other colors. So I try to do it last. So I'm just removing the excess. I have a whole bunch on my squeegee. I can put it right back in the jar and I can save it for another project. Okay. Kind of boo-booed on that. I shouldn't have taped. Let's see. I wonder if I can get that off really quick. Without harpooning my transfer. Probably was not the best way to do this, but okay. Now let's open my storm really quick. And I'm going to get a detail tool out, which is a very small squeegee. Ashley says her sister had her graduation this past weekend. There were a lot. It seems to be the week to graduate. I'm probably going to get black in everything. Should have done these first. And I'm not even for sure that this storm will show up against this on the wood of the cutting board. We shall see. Okay. Let's see if I was actually able to get it done. The black didn't. I'm going to have to I'm going to let's wash my transfer. I think it's the finish of the cutting board, because on the paint it did well. On the cutting board it didn't do so great. But I think if I let that dry, it'll be a good base to re-chalk it. So let's wash our transfer really quick. Get all that black off. Oh, I gotta reach for a board eraser. Okay, so it's super easy to wash these transfers. You just need some water. You can either have it in a tub like this, or you can go straight to a sink. I'm just kind of rubbing it on the bottom of this tub to kind of help get some of that black off. And then you can use a board eraser. They actually work the best at getting your transfers clean. So I just wet my board eraser, and then I'm just going to drag it across the surface of my transfer, getting as much of that chalk paste off as I can. And then I'm going to flip it over. I know it's kind of hard to see in this dark water, but and don't be alarmed if your transfers happen to stain a little bit. As long as you get the paste out of the silkscreen, you should be okay. If it's just the teal part that's stained, your transfer will still work. Okay, so I've got most of that off. I'm going to grab a disinfecting wipe, and we're going to wipe off the back. And that'll help get a lot of the sticky fuzz off, or we'll get that fuzz off that we put on with the towel. We'll get some of that wax off that may have come up with the transfer. And then to dry it, to dry it quicker quickly. I'm going to stick it in the inside my microfiber portion of my fuzz towel and just kind of let it sit for a little bit. And that should work. That should dry it pretty quick. Okay, so let's dry this. And I think we can work on the bottom. While we're waiting for my transfer to dry. I'll show you again what happened. You can see it didn't adhere very well to the surface of the cutting board, but it adhered well to the paint and the wax. So it must just be something with the surface of this cutting board. But I think we can get it fixed. So let's pull out our fonts now. So I want to have it read out. And this is an old font, so it doesn't even have any of the registration marks on it. To kind of help line up your fonts. I happen to have some scrap tape here. I'm just going to line it up with the roughly the bottom edge of the cutting board and use it as kind of my guide. I don't know if I want to line it up directly on the line, but it'll at least give me another visual. Oh, some of these haven't been used yet, so I'm just going to give them a quick fuzz. And I'm just kind of, I'm just roughly placing them right now. Just trying to get my spacing. Put that in the middle. So let's put that one down first. I want that one in the middle. And then T. Okay, you guys tell me, you guys are super quiet. Tell me where your favorite, since we're talking about eating out with our project, tell me your favorite place to eat out and go. And it doesn't have to be where you live. If you have a favorite place out of town. Okay, I think that's where I want it. So I'm going to burnish that one down. Okay, let's get a smaller squeegee out. So I'm going to get my black out again. And I'm just going to get a little bit on my squeegee. And I'm going to drag it down that silkscreen area. Removing the excess. I missed a few spots, so I wanted to wait until it was dry. See if I can go back in. I'm just going to get a little bit on my finger. See if I can get that to push through the silkscreen. Nope, made it worse. It's just going to have to be how it is. It matches all of the distressing of the other parts, so I'm not terribly worried about it. And it could be, it's not. Some of the transfers are made to be distressed. We'll just pretend that one is. Ashley says there's a Mexican restaurant in Branson, Missouri that was so delicious. Can't remember the name. I remember the building is small and it's on the strip. I have not been to Branson since the early 80s. My parents took us when we were little. We need to go back. We'll have to put that on our bucket list. So I've got that one. And then gonna be well, I'm just gonna use that for my spacing, but it's wet, so we're just gonna have to wing it. The newer fonts have registration marks. So the nice thing about those is like you can put some, you don't necessarily want to chalk the registration marks onto your project, but you could lay some placement tape down and chalk the registration marks on there so that you can remove them. It would make it easier to place these fonts. Hello. I don't know who that is because it just says Facebook user on my end, but hello, hello. Welcome. So there's the O and the U. Dry. So now we'll add our T. And I'm just going to fuzz a few times because this one has been used. I don't think I fuzzed the O, but I'm just trying to eyeball it as best as I can. This one has a few wrinkles in it, so we'll see what happens. So I'm just using my chalk paste and I'm running it down that silkscreen material. Perfect. Okay, so after this, we'll go back and fix the top. checking here. Un momento. It's Adia. Sorry, I got on my group to see. Hello, Adia. How are you? You just came up as Facebook user, so I didn't know who to say hi to. Let's take this off gently. Okay, so I'm going to have to go back and fix the top just because I think it's the surface of the cutting board. I think that's the reason why the paste didn't adhere very well up at the top, but it adhered well to the paint. So I have my transfer hanging out in the microfiber part of my towel. It's super dry. It's ready to go. And just to protect the bottom part, oh, I can't do all that. I'm going to lay this down to cover the bottom part up, and I'm going to match it up as best as I can. The nice thing about the Silkscreen is that it is see-through, so it makes it super easy to line everything up. Okay, so I'm going to burnish that part down. I'm going to cover this up so I don't chalk up there. And then I'm going to have to be super careful. I don't really want to, we'll just be really careful around those little greenery pieces. So I'm just getting my chalk paste, and hopefully we can fix this. Hopefully it sticks. Just about boo-booed. Hopefully this doesn't look weird when I'm done. Turn it a little bit. Try to get some of that excess off. Now let's see if I fixed it. If I didn't, we may just have to reboot, and I will sand it back down at another time and try again. That's better. Much, much better. Okay, let's dry that before I mess it up. Okay, now we can embellish. I think I'm going to quickly, I'm just going to put that to the side, and let's rewash our transfer just because that's how I like to do it. Okay, so board eraser, we'll grab my transfer from over here. Sorry, my water's a little dark, but so you just need a water source again. Any a little tub like this full of water, or even just going straight to the sink. So you just want to wet your board eraser, and you're just going to drag it down that transfer to get as much of that paste off as you can. Sorry, my water's a little dark. I just like to get to my transfers as quickly as possible. That way they don't get all super stained, and it's just easier to clean. It's easier to get all that out of the Silkscreen if you do it sooner rather than later. Let's add our letters in there and do the same thing. Let's see. I gotta find them all. Okay, here's my T. It's really dark. Here's my O. So I'm just holding on to one edge and taking my board eraser and getting off as much of that paste as I can. There's my U. Okay. Get that yucky stuff out of the way. Okay. Now let's even get most of that off. Okay, now let's get our little, I don't remember, that one's a disinfecting wipe. So I'm just going to wipe the back off, get some of those fuzzies off. And you can leave your transfers to dry, sticky side up for about 10-15 minutes. You could lay them in a microfiber towel like I did with mine earlier. Or I actually just take mine straight to the backer sheets and put them back on because I tend to forget that I have them air drying. And then they sit out all week long and then they aren't sticky anymore. So I'll just continue to let them dry on the backer sheet. Okay, so the T goes here. Here's the U and the O. Okey-doke. So we'll bring our cutting board back in and we'll embellish it. Get some of this stuff out of the way. I think I'm just going to do it simple and do some twine. I don't know whether to use my thicker twine or my thinner twine. That's the question. I don't like this thicker twine because it has all sorts of gross spots in it, like hair mats. So we'll use the thin stuff because I like it better. So I'm just going to do what I pretty much always do. I'm just going to wrap it around quite a few times. Maybe 4 or 5 or more. We'll do 2 more, so we have 7. Okay, so then I'm going to tie that off. You could also take some twine and make like a really cute tassel coming off of the handle or some farmhouse beads. I'm just going to do a simple bow tonight. I don't know if I can get that. I think that'll work. I'm actually going to wrap these underneath the outside piece just to kind of keep it, because if I leave that knot on the top, the bow can get a little floppy. And that just kind of bugs me. So I'm just going to make my little loopy bow here. So I've got my left and right bow with one of my tails, my right tail. So I'm just going to continue to make loops on each side. Oops. Try not to let go of it. We'll do 5 loops tonight. Okay, so I'm just going to stick my bow in here. And then we're just going to tie it on. Just easy peasy, neutral easy. And then you can knot, I like to kind of knot these at the end. And then they can naturally fray up until that knot. I don't normally seal any of my pieces. I probably should, unless they're going outside, and then I will seal it. But if you wanted to seal this, you could just use any kind of clear spray sealer. You can do brush on, but I would do at least 1 coat of spray sealer and then go in with your brush sealer. So if you try to do a brush sealer, it's going to pretty much reconstitute your paste, and it will run. Okay, so there is a cute little farmhouse. Oops, that one's a bit long. Let's take that knot out. Maybe. Let's see if we can make this a little shorter. Okay, that's better. Okay, so let's flip our camera around, and there is our cute little cutting board. Time to eat out. Better words have never been spoken. And you could also do the back side. Just keep it. This particular cutting board has angled sides, so it does sit kind of weird if you do the back side. But if you leaned it against something, I don't think it would make much of a difference. There's our cute little cutting board. Let's go over. Let's see. Mr. Jason says cute. Thank you. Let's go over some of our specials for the month. Don't forget that this month it's Transfer Palooza. So if you had your eye on any transfers, now is the time to get those. You can, if you buy 2 transfers, you can get 1 for free, and that free one will always be the lesser value of the transfers. So my advice is, if you're wanting any of the D or E size transfers, to purchase those in a separate order. That way, if you buy 2 E's, you could get a D free, or if you buy 2 E's, you could get a 3rd E free. You'll pay a little bit more in shipping, but your deal in the long run will be better. But anyway, 2 free transfers, or 1 free transfer for every 2 transfers that you purchase. Another way to get free transfers is to partake in the What's Not to Love promotion. So any customer who adds $50 to their cart and then adds a $5 donation to Watts of Love they will receive a mystery retired size A transfer in their order. And as a special bonus for Club Couture members, they will get 2 size A mystery retired transfers in their order with any $50 cart order plus a $5 Watts of Love donation. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Or if you have any questions about Watts of Love, let me know about that as well. Club Couture members, you can also take advantage of the Paste Palooza. So there are 2 paste trio combos that are listed in the specials tab on my chalk site. The first one is the Daisy Chain Trio, that is white, bumblebee, and meadow. The second one is Call Me Baby, and that has candy apple, couture teal, and black velvet. And I think those are around 15 or 7. I don't. You'll have to, if you're a club member, you'll have to log on to your account at my chalk site, chalkcouture.com/Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and it will come up as the 50% off special. Also this month, if you're wanting to join Club Couture, or if you're already a member, this is the transfer that you'll receive for $19.99 a month with free shipping. You can get this exclusive size B transfer and 3 paste singles. And this month it's Bumblebee, Meadow, and Storm. There is a 3-month minimum commitment to sign up, but you can cancel at any time after those 3 months. Also, as a Club Couture member, you get $4.95 flat rate shipping on any order. If you're like me and your wish list was way bigger than your wallet, you might consider becoming a designer, or if you just want to make some extra income, or if you just want to purchase the product at a discount so that you can sell your finished goods, you might consider signing up to be a designer. It is $99 plus tax and shipping. You do get about $240 worth of product for that $99 plus tax and shipping. If you don't want to go that route, then you can sign up for the Business Builder Starter Kit. That one is only $19 to start. Whichever avenue you decide to go, you will earn or you will get a 40% discount on all products from the get-go. And upon signing, you also get a one-time use 15% off coupon, and that's good for 60 days after you sign up. So between your 40% off and that one-time 15% off, you could take the $19 avenue and build your own custom starter kit. So a couple of things to keep in mind. So just let me know if you have any questions about that, about being a designer, or about Club Couture, or about Watts of Love. I'd be more than happy to let you know what those are and to further explain what those might be. I will be live again on Wednesday at 7:45 p.m. Central Time. It's a normal schedule this week. Woohoo! Yay for normalcy. So I will see you again on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.